The honourable member for Halifax Needham.
Mr. Speaker, I am going to speak for a shorter time than my colleagues, but I also wanted to hit a couple of the points that come to mind when I think about regulating Nova Scotia Power and Emera. There is no doubt that the way into a future with any sort of viable climate for our children is not going to be found thanks to the leadership of capital and capitalists. There is nothing inherent in the capitalist system that places enough value on our environment, that places enough value on that which we have no way of assigning a number to on a balance sheet, and which is treated as an externality. So if I were to look at breaking into the legislation and tinkering around with it, it would be with the idea of performing the role of government, which is in fact to regulate for the public good. And if we're going to take that time to look at Nova Scotia Power, perhaps, for example, the government could remove the caps that it has placed on energy efficiency budgets, because we know that higher investments have been shown to be cost effective. Maybe we could reduce the limit that was placed, that has restricted the size of net metering to 100 kilowatts, down from 1 megawatt. Maybe, and this is I think a really important one, we could decouple the profits of Nova Scotia Power from energy sales, and instead make it based on performance, or somehow like figure out a formula so that we're actually rewarding them when they are providing real value to us, not when they're selling us more power that is, as my colleagues have said, sometimes unreliable, and certainly not at this point adequately green. So there's many things that we could do as a government to exercise our function, which involves regulation, and this being the only piece of legislation related to Nova Scotia Power and Emera in my time in this House, coming from the government that once promised to break the monopoly, seems like a very odd place to start. Thank you very much.